Hello there and welcome. In this episode, I will talk to you about my favorite chess player on earth, and his name is Alireza Firouzja. In my opinion, Alireza Firouzja is on his way to becoming one of the greatest, if not the greatest chess player of all time. Now, um, there are many people in the chess community, in the chess world, who say that Alireza is all hype. And let me take this opportunity to respond to them briefly. That you cannot ascribe to hype that which has already happened. So Alireza is right now number two player in the world, ranked second only to Magnus Carlsen. And we all know that Magnus Carlsen is incomparable. So this is a guy who is 19 years old, and he's already accomplished something that almost no one has achieved in the history of chess. So I think it's unfair to still be talking about Alireza hype. I think he has already um, hit the stratosphere as far as chess is concerned. Of course, we still want him to be world champion. Of course, we still want him to achieve his potential. But he's already demonstrated incomparable brilliance with results. Um, Okay, now I'm going to show you a game of Alireza's in which you will see why I think that this guy is on his way to absolutely conquering the world of chess. Okay, so the game begins. Alireza starts with e4, opponent plays c5, which is called the Sicilian defense. Alireza plays knight f3, pawn to d6. This is all pretty standard stuff, so nothing extremely creative or anything like that from Alireza yet. Okay, so Alireza plays pawn to g3. Okay, the game develops, you know, fairly reasonably so far. Fairly reasonably so far. Um, Nothing too crazy yet. I still don't think anything crazy. But here we see the signs that Alireza is he means business. Okay, so pawn to a4 is actually forcing black to make a decision, either to capture the pawn on a4 or to play pawn to b4, attacking the knight. And I have a feeling that Alireza was planning the piece sacrifice knight d5 if the opponent had played pawn to b4. But okay, opponent captured, Alireza captures back, opponent bishop e7. Opponent is playing quite pretty reasonably. He wants to castle and then complete development. Okay, but here comes Alireza, rook b4. And you would think, okay, what's the idea? He's attacking the bishop. But the bishop can be defended with a move that looks very straightforward and that looks very reasonable. But this is exactly what Alireza was counting on. Okay? So Alireza plays knight to c5. And here comes the first blow of the game. Boom! Alireza sacrifices the rook for the bishop. And you may think, okay, what is the compensation? What justifies this sacrifice? And if you are not willing to sacrifice even more material, you will not even understand what Alireza is doing here. Because, okay, opponent captures back saying, what have you done? Why did you give me your rook? And then Alireza plays e5, uncovering an attack of the bishop, uncovering an attack of the bishop um, on the knight. Okay, so opponent defends, right? And here comes second sacrifice. So Adelina is relentless in trying to open up the king. And you will see, he's not doing this for material. He's not doing this because he wants to win back the knight on b7 or something like that. No, he wants to open you up in the most medieval sense of the word. Okay, so now knight f5. And you see, he's coming for your king. Of course, he's pretending like he wants to take on d5 and take on b7. But don't be fooled. This guy is coming for your king. Watch what happens. So opponent castles and says, okay, I'm out of trouble. You sack your rook, then sack the knight. So what are you doing? And the river takes on d5. And the river takes on d5. And now we see pawn to b4. This is the first sign that this is not a man that is playing this to gain back material, right? He plays pawn to b4. What is this pawn to b4 about? You will see in a moment. First of all, you can't take the bishop, the pawn rather. You can't take the pawn on b4 because if you take the pawn, then white would play queen to g4, which would be a very powerful double attack. Okay, so opponent says, okay, I don't want your material anymore. I already have an overwhelming material advantage. Alireza plays queen g4, threatening checkmate on g7. Okay, now opponent plays pawn to g6. Alireza plays pawn to e6. You can see he's giving up everything. Of course, you can't take on d5 because then he would play knight e7 check, right? And win your queen. Okay? So now he's still attacking in a very relentless way. He wants to take on f7 or play pawn to e7. Okay. Opponent plays queen f6, at least trying to defend. Alireza goes pawn to e7, attacking the rook on f8. Opponent plays rook e8, thinking that, okay, maybe he can stabilize. Even if he loses some more material, no problem. Notice, please, that Alireza never for once considered even taking on b7. And look at what comes next. Boom! This is a blow to the solar plexus. Bishop takes f7 check. It turns out that you can't capture because if you take with the queen, then I will play knight to h6 check and win your queen and win the game, right? And if you take with the king, still knight to h6 check. No, wait a second. Queen to c4 check. That's the move that finishes the game. And yeah, that's lights out. There's nothing you can do. You have to block with your queen, and then I'm going to capture. That's mate in two moves. Okay? So, Aloysius' opponent just resigned, basically, after bishop takes f7. But let us consider another possibility. Bishop takes f7. I was wondering what happens if opponent just plays king to h8 and says, I have a lot of your material, so I can afford to give you the rook. But it doesn't end there because you will take on e8. If you capture back, let's say you capture back attacking my queen, I'll just play bishop f7. You can't take my queen because if you take my queen, I play pawn to e8 check, and this is completely crushing. Already I can just win your queen back, even if I can't find it. No, this is checkmate. What am I saying? What am I saying? This is checkmate already. So this game, I think, shows us uh, the brilliance of Alireza at his rawest form. Of course, he's going to improve. Of course, he's going to get better. But looking at his games, I get the sense of somebody who is incredibly creative, incredibly competitive, and very precise, very aggressive, very precise. This is exactly the kind of world champion I would like to see. And for all you Alireza haters out there, my boy is coming. Okay, please don't forget to subscribe and like this video. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.